Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
And it's Black History Month. So I mandated we watch Hidden Figures, a film about people who cope with crippling body shyness by dressing in baggy clothes.
Nope, I watched the wrong movie.
But before we get to the review, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
All right, so today's trivia, brother, is not so trivial. Because in honor of Black History Month, you chose a fantastic movie with three gorgeous, amazing, talented women who front it.
Dude, don't
Before
ask
I
me anything about Black history. They don't teach that shit in school. I know nothing.
No, I'm gonna say so. Taraji P. Henson,
Mm-hmm.
Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe, of course, are our leading ladies. Can you tell me one other for each of these ladies leading role that they have had and or a film that they've been in that they've had a prominent, very prominent role? I don't want a they had a guest appearance on Friends once. That doesn't count.
I probably wouldn't know.
Oh no!
So,
You know Octavia Spencer's
Ma,
oeuvre. Ma. That's
Ma.
the one I thought you were gonna go with.
It's
Now,
is that like the most recent one? Well, she's
yeah,
no, she's not. Ma.
yes,
Yes, so that's one.
that is one. Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe was just in the Glass Onion movie.
Yeah, they were.
Um, oh, she uses they them. They
The
use they
last
them.
the last I heard, yes.
Oh, did not know. Okay. Um. Oh, and
Taraji.
I am terrible at all these folks' names. We've got Mahershala Ali is in the movie too.
Mahershala
Mahershala.
Ali.
God damn, I'm
I
bad at
mean,
names.
Idris is
Why
number
do
one.
Idris is
But
really?
like
He's got an easy name. I could do that one.
but in Idris is Idris. No one but Mahershala really likes to ride the coat to be like, I'm coming for you, Idris. I'm hot too, you know. He is. He's so hot.
Blade's gonna come out eventually. Um,
Oh, really? I had no idea.
um. So Teresa P. Henson.
Yes.
Uh,
The two things that I know her
I can
from,
only think of TV things. She was in the Haunted Mansion special that was on Disney Plus like a year or two ago.
is she not in the newest Haunted?
The Muppets one. The Muppets one.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Taraji P. Henson's how
She voices one of the characters on Tuca and Birdie, which I don't like.
yes, she does.
I mean, I know she's fine. I don't like Tuca and Birdie. I don't
No,
like the art style. And I
I
don't think
don't
it's
like
funny.
that either. She what's
Ah,
his name? What's the dude who played the original Rhodey? Howard. Terrence
Terrence
Howard.
Howard.
She's she's been in two very big things with that man. Like that's how I know her. Is she was in a movie with him and then in a very long running TV series with him. I mean, granted, she's been in other things that I've seen, but those were um Empire is the movie, not the movie. The Did you ever hear the TV show Empire?
Mm-hmm.
She was the
Heard of it. Haven't seen it
yeah,
though.
she played Cookie. I never saw it, but that was apparently she's won some Emmys, I think, or an Emmy. I'd hope maybe some. I don't know how many, but yeah. And then do you know anything else that Terrence Howard is in? Like where he got his big break? What movie?
Well, it wasn't Iron Man.
No,
He
no.
was a known quantity by then.
Yeah.
No.
It's called Hustle and Flow.
Oh yeah, did I recall the movie? I've never seen it though.
I never saw it either, and it was one that I wanted to, but yeah, I never got to it. But yeah, I can you say do you so you got the three leading uh ladies. What about do you happen to know anything else that Mahershala is in?
Well, Jesus, I know he's they've been trying to make the Blade movie for a
See,
couple
I
of
had
years
no
now.
idea. Okay, then yeah, I had no idea that was on the horizon. He would be a fantastic Blade.
Oh yeah.
And
Really
I
looking
did
forward
really
to it.
like
So,
Wesley Snipes as Blade, to be clear. I thought Wesley was great as Blade,
um,
but I think that Mahershala is going to be great.
he's in the Battle Angel, or what the hell do they call it? Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, Alita Battle Angel is the name of the movie. He's in that, I think. Pretty sure, if I'm
All
remembering
right.
right.
Let's take a
Um,
look.
Other than that, he's in Eternals. His voice is in the very end, in the post credits thing where Kit Harington's picking up the sword. He's like, "Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Harrington?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. So his
What?
voice is it. So there's two.
Apparently, he's Uncle Aaron in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I didn't know that was him.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that either.
Holy
Huh.
crap. He is in Eternals.
Well, I mean,
Elita, Battle Angel. Yeah.
his voice is.
Yeah, he's Uncle Aaron. So he was in the very controversial movie Green Book with Viggo Mortensen.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see that either.
And he did win the Oscar for that, Mr. Mahershala did,
Hmm.
for supporting, I think it was. And then Green Book went on to win Best Picture, like I said, very controversially. So there's a little Black history for you. And then, of course, Octavia is in everything. Like, I can't think of
Yeah,
something she's not.
yeah. I don't
Which
know
is
why.
great.
I don't know why Ma was the one that came to mind because she's in so much that I'm like, oh, shit, I'm blanking.
100%. I figured
It's
you'd
like
go.
if you ask me, it's like name a movie Clint Howard is in. I'm like, he's like in 70, or Dick Miller. It's like they're in dozens and dozens of movies.
Yeah. I
Ice
think
Cream Man
I think one of the
for
things
Clint Howard
about
and Gremlins for Dick Miller. There you go.
I think one of the things about Octavia Spencer that's so great is that she just truly Ma is her
And
role.
Kirsten
Like
Dunst was
that's
in Dick.
Kirsten Dunst was in Dick. There you go. But she's white and we don't care right now.
Okay,
But I had
we don't
forgotten.
care what else you've done, Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I know. Field of Dreams. Was Kevin Costner in Bull Durham, or was he? There was
Well,
another
no, that's
baseball-y. That was Tim Robbins.
Wait, was it
No,
Warren Beatty or was it? I'm gonna have to look that up now because I haven't seen it.
I've never seen Bull Durham either, but Kevin Costner was in
Yeah,
another.
that was Kevin Costner. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
it was okay. So it was okay.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I know there was some sort of a.
Haven't seen that one, so
No, I've never seen that one, but I hear Susan Sarandon wears a hell of a dress in that movie. So I need,
okay.
like, literally, that's all like that she wears some dress that's just like, hey there. And I'm like, well, I've got to see that.
Is it
I
like
wouldn't.
the sheer one she wears in Thomas Crown Affair?
That would be Renee Russo,
That's
and
Rene Russo.
probably
Okay.
something very akin to that because you're just like, well, yeah, you're wearing that dress, babe. Like that's a sexy ass dress. So I'm intrigued as to what this dress in Bull Durham is. But maybe one day we will see. It's not my pick for Black History Month. I wonder why. But yeah, so there you go. That was my query because I just wanted to honor our lovely
Here's your challenge: find a movie with an all-white cast. It's like I'm gonna just randomly grab something off my shelf and see if it's
Okay.
an all-white cast.
Oh geez, no. What is it going? Oh, he actually is looking away. That's good. Uh-oh. It was in the D's, E's. What
What are
letter?
the odds that this is an all-white cast? I happen to pick The Devil's Rejects.
Oh,
The three leads are all white. So I mean, there might be some people of color in the background somewhere.
I'm
Background,
sure they die very
background.
early.
Yeah, if there's any black persons in this, they probably get killed. So there you go.
So I would like to say, by the way, while you were over there and you picked, I said that looks like maybe D or E. So I'm very proud of
Yep,
myself
yep. Of
because I
course,
know
there was a pretty decent chance I grabbed an anime. It's
that you are not wrong. That is absolutely
it's
correct.
like
So
name an anime with a black character in it. Like I'm Afro Samurai. That's about it.
I don't know that one. I'm trying to think.
That's
I
not
don't
racist.
I don't watch a lot of anime. Only when I'm with
I
you
do.
would I watch. I know you do. Um, yeah. So there you go. Very
All right.
exciting. So thank you. Yay. And then Janelle Monáe is
Well,
there was
she's on a
that.
tear, or they're on a tear recently.
Yes.
Uh, there was the Glass Onion movie, and then
Antebellum or something. Is that what it was called? I never saw it.
a not sure if that's the one they're in, but they also just released an album. Apparently, a
Yes.
singer too.
Started that way, by the way.
Good on them.
So there you go. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta turn on the phone.
Beautiful.
Hang on.
Oh, yes.
I'm actually
Person.
glad I saw Glass Onion first because that gave me a picture of her range as an actor. Because if I had started with what I'd seen of her music video or what I'd seen in this movie, Hidden Figures, I would have pegged her as I used to peg Ryan Gosling as one note and dull. Plays the one note very well, but just had they play haughty.
Sure. Yeah, I was
you
actually
know,
I was
but I know
so
they've
I
got range now.
yes. So I did just look up pronouns
Mm-hmm.
and currently Janelle Monáe uses they, them, and she, her. So if we go back and forth, we are still honoring their choice.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure.
Occasionally, I see pronouns in a bio that are they'll be like she slash they. Does that
Mm-hmm.
indicate it's she,
Yes.
her, or they, them?
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we can use how it fits into our vernacular as we go.
Nifty.
Excellent. But
All
I did
right.
want to honor that. So there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Hidden Figures. Oh my God. I don't know
It is
if
not
I
about body shy
no.
people wearing baggy clothes. So
No.
so I
It is
couldn't relate to it at all.
You seriously, you said that, and I was like, I totally.
I mean, that'd be a great
movie.
name for a film about body shy people wearing
Although,
baggy clothes, Hidden Figures.
although I'm not gonna lie when I say I love the name of this movie. Like
Yeah.
it means many different things, and I just
Figures
love
as
that.
in people, figures as in
Figures
the
as in
mathematics.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I really do enjoy all the play that you can take
Mm-hmm.
into account there. But I will say I'm gonna save my favorite scene for a moment. When I just say that I don't know if it's my age or something, but I cried a few times at this movie. Like I don't know if I'm in a mood or something, but there were tears, and it was just a very emotional movie
You know,
for me
when
for at
the
times.
underdogs get theirs, that's nice.
Yeah, and
So if it
especially,
hits you at the right time, sure,
and
I
I
can
think
see
that's the
that.
thing, like, maybe I'm, going through the change. No.
And while Mahershala Ali's character may have been underserved in this movie, to the point where I'm not even sure what the hell the point of him being there is. When he proposes to
I know, Catherine
Catherine, thank you, sure.
Taraji.
Taraji. Um, it's like, I mean, they kissed once. That relationship just has no development. He has no. I don't even know what the point is, other than she got married and her name changes at some point.
Well, and it
I
changes
guess
the
it.
name that we know her. Like Katherine Johnson is
Yeah.
the name that is known.
But my point is the proposal scene, even though I think Mahershala Ali had been in like 3 scenes prior. The first scene where he's introduces and trips over his own dumbass sexism.
The
The second,
massery.
the second scene where he apologizes.
Yeah.
And the third scene where he smooches her.
Yeah.
And then he proposes. I think that's it. I think that's the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't even see him at the wedding.
I don't think we see a wedding.
We don't.
But both actors are just such have such presence and charisma that even though this relationship really didn't get developed and has no bearing on the story at large, both actors sell it to the point where like,
oh, right. Oh, I loved it. I cried a little bit at that one.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think there's 2 things about it. Number one, especially thinking about the kissing scene, when he says, I think it's high time I kiss you, I'm like, there's a part of me that I'm like, how sweet is that? That it's like they've been courting. Like courting isn't a thing anymore. Like people go in for the smooch, people go in for the nightcap, like, first date, which is, I'm not judging, totally fine, excellent even. But like, there's something just so sweet about how that used to be, but at the same time, you can't go back because that is how things used to be. And so that kind of juxtaposition just like hurts my soul because it was so sweet. But at the end of the day, it's actually not. It was a terrible time. But I think, and I do agree with you in that it is because of their ability and of their charisma and whatnot that scene was moving, because there's not a lot going on. But I think it was just trying hard to round out these women. They had lives and they were like, we had to show a life that they had, and we have to show that they're sometimes missing that life because of what they're doing, type of a thing. And so I think that it was important to show that there was something else going on, that it wasn't just, and we're here for math. And I thought that was, at least that part was done well.
So movie in a nutshell is early 60s space race. NASA is desperately trying to get people into space and eventually the moon, because we're not in it for the betterment of humanities. We're having a dick measuring contest with the opposing sports team, essentially. Yes. It's like,
no, brother, we can't all just get along.
Anyway,
did this movie teach you nothing?
So our 3 leads work at NASA, and because they're Black women in the early 60s, they are the underdogs. So can they rise up through all the bigoted red tape horse poopies to help put a man in space? Yes, they can. So this movie, it takes place in the year or so between when it's not Yuri Geller, Yuri something or other, first got shot into space, and where Glenn's one of his names is Glenn. John Glenn went up. So that was about a year or so between those 2 events. So that's where the movie is.
The actor's name is Glenn as well, so I wasn't sure if you were trying to figure out the actor's name or not.
Maybe that's what's because
Glenn something or other is the actor. That sounds about right. Glenn. He's very pretty to look at.
Because the other one is Jim Parsons, right?
Yes, it is Jim Parsons.
Okay. What I found surprising about the movie, no idea how real. I would imagine that Catherine and Dorothy and woman number 3,
Mary.
Thank you. Probably didn't. You know what? Just
find out now.
Cast list. There we go. Now I have the names in front of me.
Oh. Yes.
The Catherine and Dorothy and Mary, the real individuals, probably didn't know each other at all. Like,
I wonder about that. I don't
I
know the
was
answer.
expecting a kind of a buddy movie, them all working in the same department, but they don't. They just carpool.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was an invention of the film just to get these characters together and socialize and be friends. They carpool to work. They go to the church picnics and stuff like that. Because otherwise, Mary works in engineering. Catherine works in
The mathematics.
computer.
Computing.
Catherine's the computing. And back in the days when a computer was
With
a
a
job
person.
occupation,
Yeah.
you are a computer. You
Yep.
compute things.
Yep.
And Dorothy was a
Programmer.
manager and programmer. Or, well, she was managing or supervising a group without being paid to be a supervisor.
She was a lot. Dorothy was a lot. Dorothy's probably
Yeah.
the most famous as well. Katherine Johnson is very famous. Let's not be confused. But Dorothy Vaughan is
Dorothy Vaughan is the one I had
famous
heard
name.
of.
Yes.
And probably because of the coding stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. She has.
Back when coding was women's work, men wouldn't denigrate themselves to coding a computer. That's what the ladies are for.
That's right. But yeah, that's yeah, very, very exciting. So
I tell you that
I remember watching this movie the first time.
mm-hmm.
and that was when it came out. When did it come out?
Well,
I don't remember.
I'm actually on IMDb. I could look. 2016.
2016. Okay. So I saw it when it first came out, and I remember the whole computer thing. Every time they would be like, you're a computer, and I was always, I would kind of snicker. I'd be like, it's so funny because it's like, that's not like vernacularly what we use computer for anymore. So like, but I mean, obviously you know what they're talking about, but it wasn't, it's just a very interesting thing of like that there was there was a person that
I need a computer. He means a person.
Yeah. And it's such a funny, he's like, you're a computer. Computers don't write, essays, or computers don't do, and I'm just like, it's so funny. I don't know. I snickered a lot, and I remembered it when I was watching it this time. I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm much more mature now that I don't have to snicker at that.
I tell you, the most the part of the movie that made my stomach drop the most is where Octavia Spencer goes to the library and gets a book on Fortran. I'm like, oh God, Fortran. Old friggin' coding language that I've barely been exposed. I had to in college. I think we looked at some of the older Pascal and Fortran and Unix systems, and some of the older, just to kind of get an idea of the history of how languages developed before we got into the more modern stuff. And so she picks up a book on Fortran. I'm like, oh God. And it's like this thick. It looks like it's like 130 pages. I'm like, you're gonna need more than that.
I was thinking, I'm like, that looks like a very,
but I have a feeling she went back.
I
have a feeling she went back to the library to get some more.
Yeah, just not in that trip, because there was an asshole lady in that trip.
Yeah, it's like, are you telling me that there wasn't parity between the whites only and the non-whites only library sections? I mean,
every single book.
If you're gonna segregate them, I mean, you've got to buy 2 copies of each book to make sure that. No. Oh.
Yeah. I think that's, for me, probably the biggest thing about watching this movie. That's probably why I was very emotional, is twofold. Number one, I am interested in your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a movie like this about, or just the whole idea of putting a person into space, right? Putting a person into space, landing a dude on the moon. Like, what an incredible feat. The first time it happened, it like changes everything. And to have like that huge shift in like what is possible has got to be like, oh, what a time to be alive. Like, I covet almost, if you will, that kind of a feeling, like the kind of like, I feel like in my life, there's been nothing that we've done that has been so monumental in a positive way that is like, so I can take pictures and call and text and color apparently and video record, and I can do everything in the world on my phone. To me, though, that's a convenience. Getting to the moon is not convenient. It's a thing that culturally we can all rally around. And I I get jealous in a weird way. That there was something bigger than these people. And I feel like in our lifetime there hasn't been anything bigger than us. And so in that way it is kind of sad. I'd like to get your take
Certainly
on.
nothing that the world, or at least the individual nations, like come together to celebrate. There's been some really super cool stuff. Like we took a picture of a black hole.
That's true.
That's amazing. And
didn't we just see the other
was,
side of the moon recently too?
I mean,
Pictures.
we've had pictures. We've orbited it and taken pictures of all of it since the 60s. So
dark side of the moon. That's my hair.
Well, the dark side is whatever side the sun's not shining on. So
well, there's only one side that faces the Earth.
Because it's correct. The moon,
the rotation of
the Earth in the same direction. So there is a, from our perspective, the backside, but we've seen it.
Yeah.
So because we've orbited it several times, and the backside does get lit on occasion. But so yeah, we've seen it. But the one we're most interested in is the one that's always facing the Earth, and it does wobble a little bit, but.
I know, but like I'm so fascinated by the orbit.
Fact that it's
the fact that it can do that because it's actually the way that it orbits around us, and like the way, oh my, it's fascinating.
It's neat.
I went down a rabbit hole with that.
When we did that, we've got a visual image of a black hole. It wasn't something that was like on the news in bars that people were drinking and cheering over. It didn't have families wrapped in front of their televisions.
Yeah.
It made the news. It was neat. No one really cared.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're still advancing. We're still doing super cool stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to take something like landing I mean, we've landed rovers on Mars and driven them around, and that's super cool, and no one really cares.
No one cares. And I guess maybe we're all just so jaded now.
Maybe.
And maybe that's I think what it is.
I think if we landed a person on the moon, on the
Mars,
on the Mars, yeah,
I would agree that would be a thing.
That might capture the world's attention. Really far future fantasy, sci-fi kind of technological developments like teleportation. Something like that would probably capture. Of course, that's going to start so damn small at first. It's not going to be like, because the Wright brothers in that era, they built a bunch of, they were trying to get people to fly. They didn't start with bacteria.
An airplane,
But when we work on teleportation technology, we're going to be teleporting very small things at first. We're not, so it's like we finally teleported an atom from one spot, and no one cares.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and then I remember, I guess Dolly kind of got a few people talking when they cloned the lamb. Sorry, I can't always tell them apart. That's my bad. That's so racist of me. I can't tell a sheep from a lamb. Oh, I'm the bad person.
All them white woolly beasts look the same to me.
So that's kind of all I can think of. But so I don't know, there's kind of a point there that I always get that sort of romanticized feeling of like how exciting something could have been. But then the last time that those kind of advances were made, we're under this sort of like horrible society of,
think how much better and faster we would have achieved all the nifty things that we've achieved, or maybe the things that we haven't managed to achieve because of it, if we had not constantly, purposefully shot ourselves in the damn feet.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's something that this movie dramatizes very well, I think, is the fact that bigotry is not just purposefully cruel, and it is, and that's literally the point, but it's also self-defeating and stupid, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, Octavius, or no, it's Taraja is the calculator.
Yeah, Catherine, who has to
Tar-
go to
Taraji?
Raji.
Taraji, okay. Uh, so she works in building A, and she's the only black woman who works in the entire building. So when she has to take a leak, well, she can't use the women's restroom in that building because she has to use the colored women's restroom, which there isn't one in that building. So she has to run to the other building, which is half a mile away. So she's taking 40-minute pee breaks. And her boss is like, what are you doing? What is this? She's like, I'm taking a piss. It's a mile round trip just to use the friggin' bathroom. And they're losing literally an hour and a half to 2 work hours every single day just because they want to be bigots.
Yeah. It's insane.
Simply to be cruel to people.
When she asked the woman where the bathroom was, and she's like, excuse me, where's I don't know if she said the ladies' room or the bathroom. And the woman says, oh, I don't know where your bathroom is. I remember I didn't get it at first because I couldn't understand, like, what do you mean you don't know where a bathroom is? You're a woman too, woman.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God. Like,
not the ladies' room, the colored ladies' room.
And it hurts. It hurts so bad that, like, it makes no sense to me, these things.
Yeah, because you're losing out on people who could be very good at various jobs. You get them in the job, and you're doing everything to try and get them to leave, hinder their performance, and that's purposeful. Yeah. All that shit is done specifically, one, to be cruel, and two, as a fig leaf excuse to fire them.
Yeah,
if they ever get uppity. It's like, I fired him. Well, you fired him because they're black. No. She was taking 40-minute bathroom breaks every single day. That's why I fired her, because she was always just pissing around in the bathroom for nearly an hour. And of course she has to, because the bathroom's a half mile away. But it just amazes me that some people are just so devoted to being bigoted and cruel to other people that they will just inconvenience themselves and make their lives harder. Like, there's a coffee pot in the room that Catherine works in, and when they get a black woman, they go to the trouble to get another coffee pot, and someone went to Kinko's.
I know. Their local label maker.
The 1960s version of Kinko's, to print out a colored label to stick on the new coffee pot that they had to find an outlet for. And it's like, that is devotion to just being an asshole.
It's
incredible. The movie disappointed me because I didn't want a feel-good underdog story. When I get faced with bigotry like that, or depictions of such bigotry, I want it to turn into a horror movie where Octavia, Taraji, and Janelle just fucking murder everybody, kill all the bigots. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the thing though, is I would agree. It's hard to watch, but it's also,
it turns into Get Out.
It's hard to watch, but I think you gotta look at what
not the intention of this film.
I hope that people who watch this film are like, geez, people, get your heads out of your arses and let the woman into the meeting so she knows what she's up to.
Exactly.
That's the hope. Because you don't want anyone now watching that movie going, well, she should know her place is not in that room.
Yeah.
Those people need to go away.
Yeah, that's an even better example. She's not allowed in the meeting, the big boardroom meetings, and they, because she's not in the meetings, she doesn't hear when stuff changes. So she's working with old data. So they're constantly they have to throw her work away because it's out of date every single day. And she's like, if you just let me in the damn meeting so I could figure out what the new stuff is when it's announced, I'd be working on the right stuff instead of wasting both of our time.
Yep. So we skipped over it, but I will say now my favorite scene in the movie, and there's a few reasons why it's my favorite scene, and by a few, maybe just one. But after the bathroom debacle with her breakdown of like, you know, when Kevin Costner's like, why are you taking 40-minute bathroom breaks? Where do you go every day? And she does this big diatribe of, you know, all the things that have happened. And of course, you're just like, oh my God, please don't fire her because she just yelled at you all because she's so smart and she's so right. But in the next scene, Kevin Costner has a crowbar and he's beating the women's room colored sign. What does it say? Like colored ladies room. I think it's like 3 words. Something like it doesn't matter, but it was their restroom. It was their restroom.
Something.
Yeah. And so he's taking a crowbar and he's smacking it and he's beating the crap out of it because he's like, this is dumb. No colored bathrooms. Everyone can pee. We all pee the same color at NASA is what he says.
It's a good line.
And I love that. But what I love most about the scene is that it is incredibly difficult for this man to use a crowbar and knock this sign off the wall. He's going at it.
The scene's probably like a full minute of him banging
at it. And he like walks around to the other side and you can see him like, I'm not giving up. This is happening. This is the statement that I'm making. And you can feel like, oh God, I know you want to make this statement. Please just fall out of the wall so he can stop looking like
it's like we're past the point where this looked real cool. Now it's kind of sad, but I'm committed now.
But I'm pot committed, and that's the thing is that it's supposed to look like, yeah, I'm tearing down the borders, and then he's like hacking away, and it won't come down. And I was just like, that was so great because it's like you can try and you can try and you can try and you can try, but there's always going to be those hanger-ons. And I'm like, how beautifully put. But it was also just it was a well done scene. I enjoy Kevin Costner. This is true. I've never thought
best Robin Hood. Sorry.
I've never thought that he was the best Robin Hood. Although Christian Slater is in that movie, and thusly it is incredible. So I've never thought that he's a great actor or anything. Like, I think he's fine. I think he does fine in what he does. But like he's one of those people who I also find very much like, this is how I act. So find me characters that act like this and I will play the heck out of those characters that act like this. But I really liked him in this role. And I do believe it was very similar to his normal work, but there was something about it that, I don't know, maybe it's his age and he's like kind of like, you know, falling back into his like rhythm or something. I really enjoyed him in this role more than because I saw him come on the screen and I was like, oh yeah, Kevin Costner. They put him in things sometimes. And then I was like, oh, I was really excited. I gained like, I was like, look at you being cool. I liked it with his gum, always chewing his gum and drinking.
And his little notebook. That's never really addressed or explained. It's just a character thing. He takes notes.
Yeah, he's just doing what he does. But yeah, it's
also while you're pointing out Christian Slater and what was it was Prince of Thieves? Is
Prince of Thieves?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. That was a wonderful performance. And the movie does suck, but I love Alan Rickman.
Why with the spoon? Because it will hurt more.
It's dull, you idiot. It'll hurt more. He walks into the thing. He's like throwing things. He grabs a knife. Stab. She's like, something vexes thee.
That was when I learned the word vex, and I'm like, I love this word.
Yeah.
Something vexes thee. Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, Alan.
Morgan Freeman's hilarious in that too. He's great. Kevin Costner is definitely in that movie.
He's in that movie. I've
He
seen
is
it.
there.
But God, but he was so popular back then.
Yes.
Which is fine. I don't mind.
I mean, yeah,
I watched Field of Dreams.
He's one of those
a million times.
One of those actors who's got it.
Yeah, indeed he does. He was in, I don't know, he was in an epic something with people and horses. I'm sure he's been in many.
Postman or something like
I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have an English accent, and that's all I know.
That's what made his Robin Hood unique.
I do want to look into, I will say it's very interesting. I had the same read that you did, in that I do wonder if these women, I feel like
knew each other at all.
They had, like, I feel like they probably knew each other.
Maybe.
I mean, if you're,
I know a bunch of people. I know a bunch. My employment. I know a bunch of people in departments I don't work in. So
yeah, but there's a difference.
We have the internet. So.
These black ladies were all shoved into a room, and then they went out to their assignments.
Oh well,
yeah. If they were truly all at the same time, they probably would have like known each other. But like, yeah, because it is interesting. Right. You are right. I was always expecting that they were the team. Like these three ladies were together doing something, when really they do have very separate paths.
And Janelle Monáe's character is, I mean, the movie's a little over 2 hours anyway, much like Mahershala Ali. Her part is very small. I mean, they only go back to her like twice. I mean, there's a bigger focus on her trying to get into a position, and they're constantly blocking her by moving the goalposts. It's like, well, you need this educational certificate. She's like, that's an all-white school. I can't go there. And they're like, oh well, sucks to be you.
Like, and they wrote a new addendum to their rule book because she applied for the job. They made an addendum specifically so she couldn't get it. That illustrates your point. Yeah. That illustrates your point, I think, larger than almost anything else. Because like Kirsten Dunst just drops, oh, but we have a new addendum. And I'm just like, I want to strangle you. Kirsten Dunst played that role really well. And I remember at the time there was an interview with her, and she was saying like
subtle seething race. It's the kind here's my take. Let me see if this was your read on this character. This character, not Kirsten Dunst, the character struck me as a woman who is rightfully outraged at the injustices she faces as a woman in society, but instead of taking it out on the proper target, broadly patriarchy, she's taking it out on people who have it even worse than her.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because she's trying to play the game with the patriarchy by taking it out on these other folks. And yeah, I will say there was an interview with her.
Solidarity, motherfucker. Have you heard of it?
And she even said she's like, it was hard to play this character and be so, she's like, I've never played someone who was so unlike me. She's like, I've played characters who aren't like me, but like just to have to put on that like persona, to almost like to be asked to cringe when I look at my coworker is such a weird, it must feel dirty. I would have to go home and wash. Like I truly would. I can understand that. So I can understand that. That's such a strange thing. So I do want to tell y'all a fun little anecdote about Miss Dorothy Vaughan and the dumb assery of Florida. So as someone who is in education and is privy to other companies, and I'm not going to say any names of companies because God knows. But what I will say is that
this podcast will lose its sponsorships.
Oh my gosh, please don't go.
Our advertisers.
Oh no. All those
buy Raisin Bran. It's good.
2 scoops of raisins in every
Kellogg's are Post or I don't someone I don't know.
Post.
Is it Post? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Post. Well, no. I Does
I
Post
could
own Kellogg's? I don't know.
Post Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
But Kellogg's sounds like it would have raisin. Kellogg's Corn Flakes and Kellogg's has Frosted Flakes. Did you know if you type my name into your
Kellogg's.
phone, it will
Raisin Bran is Kellogg's.
I would have put money on Post. My goodness. That's upsetting. So my kids call me Kellogg because when you put Kellogg into your phone, or when you put Kelly into your phone, it will autocorrect as Kellogg, at least the way I spell Kelly. And so they think it's funny. And they're like, Kellogg. And I'm like, I don't care. That's fine. I'll answer. Just as long as you're whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. So one of the textbooks that had been banned, one of the math textbooks that was taken out of school because, of course, that math textbook was, you know, sharing propaganda or whatever it was doing. Being in the position I am, I got to see what was the catalyst for them thinking it was bad. And it was truly a small little article on Miss Dorothy Vaughan. It was at the margins of the page where they're like, and this is thanks to this person, like this computation or whatever. So it like just had a picture of Miss Vaughan, and it had like Dorothy Vaughan was the first woman who did this, and she's known for programming, and you have her to thank for coding this, and this. And that was literally you learning, you're on this page and you're learning this math, and it just tells
you, we can't teach our children that Black people exist.
Or that they had anything to do with the mathematics that they are teaching or learning, I mean. So yeah, that is, I will never forget looking at that page of textbook. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with the math on this page. And there's no lie there.
I would imagine there are other accreditations throughout the entire book, yes. And they didn't have a problem with them because they accredited white people.
Oh, yeah. Aren't all mathematicians white-haired white men? No? I'm wrong? I don't know, brother. I can't believe it. All my math textbooks have white men on them. But yeah, so that's my...
Hey, what's that Black person doing? They're doing math. Well, stop them. They'll break our streak.
Get that pencil out of their hand.
You're breaking our combo, damn it.
It's terrible. But so you didn't... Okay, so let's go back to this. You didn't like the movie.
I didn't dislike the movie.
Okay.
I didn't... It's a little over 2 hours. I didn't have to pause it. I was totally fine watching it. All the actors are compelling and charming, and the underdog elements of the movie definitely worked for me. I did find it narratively a little disjointed, because our leads are separated throughout most of the movie. Janelle Monáe's part kind of falls by the wayside. Mahershala Ali's character is a charmer, but not really there much, and they don't really do anything with that. I mean, it kind of feels like he's there to justify her name change at the end.
They're like, "Oh, we need to get her to Katherine Johnson. That's how people know who she is."
Yeah. But I wasn't blown away by the movie. It's fine, solid film.
Oh, I really liked it, but I don't know.
There's a lot I liked about it, but it didn't really move me as I think bringing personal baggage into it didn't help.
Well, I was gonna say, for me and you, your anger exists in it's upsetting that we ever had that, and that we had it somewhere so close to our lifetime. And for me, it just hurts me.
Some of the justifications that dipshits in Florida are using is, we don't want white people to feel bad. We can't teach them about racism or history because then they'll feel all bad. I don't feel bad. I'm angry at bigots like you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't want me to be mad at you. Stop being a bigot. But
like, I think that my hurt, like, because I did say that, and you said that that's why that they don't want to, is because they don't want people to feel like me, because I feel so, like, but it's not like I don't feel responsible. But like, it hurts me that
I'm not responsible.
But it
I didn't do it.
hurts me that anyone could have ever thought this was okay, and then it, on top of that, hurts me that they are trying to hide that it ever happened, because that's the whole point, is that you can't. Like, the only, we can get on that
if
soapbox,
you
but
forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it, and they want to repeat it.
Yeah, well, that's true. They very much do. Did you read the Katherine Johnson and Mahershala Mr. Johnson, whose first name I guess I don't recall at all? They were married for 56 years. And the ring that his mother gave him, she was married for 52 years. And so they beat his mom.
Hey, we beat our parents' old score. Nice.
And I think that that's so sweet. When I read that, I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. I love. Because it will be, I'll be really, 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 really old if ever Jeremy and I make it to that many years. I just want 40. And then we can start dying off. But
yeah, that's the problem with starting relationships well into middle age.
Yeah, they're much more solid.
You're probably not going to get to the we've been together for 50 years. No, probably not.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. That's okay, because it'll be fine the years that we are here. So anyways, I really liked the movie. I'm really happy
solid
that you picked it. It's a solid film, and it works very well with our Black History theme. And it's funny because I know about Dorothy. Let's try it again. I know about Dorothy Vaughan, and I know about Katherine Johnson. I actually don't know much about Ms. Mary Jackson. Yeah. I don't know much about her, and that's something like I thought. And you are right. They focus more on her activism part, which I think is valid, because that's not, the movie was about getting, someone to space, and the advancements with, computers, the machine taking computers, the person, out of work kind of thing. So that was the story, but I do wonder. And again, maybe I should have read the book, or maybe I should do some more research, and maybe I will. You don't know. You don't know what I'm about to do after this. You don't know me. You don't know my address. But
I do. That's how I sent you your birthday present, which should be there tomorrow, by the way.
My birthday's not in February. Yours is.
We're recording this at the end of September, so
yours is in February.
Yeah. When this show goes live, my birthday was last week, so
happy belated birthday, brother. I'll try to remember to tell that to you in 5 months.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, because it is very true that the story of this movie could have omitted Mary Jackson's character completely, and the story would not have changed an iota, in my opinion. Because even though she was working with that other engineer dude on the heat shield, she wasn't there yet, because so her part in the movie was just to show other ways, and how she got, like, other ways and how she was able to overcome those obstacles, and like the things that Black women had to do.
Dorothy and Mary all approached similar problems in completely different ways. So I think she needed to be there, or I think her presence is valuable. I would have just liked a bit more time with her, because she feels like she's missing a lot of the time.
If you didn't have such a charismatic actress as Janelle, then it could have even been more feeling that way, in my opinion, because I think that they are a great. You're not going to forget them when the scene is not on them, to put it that way.
Well, it's like, where's Janelle?
Right, exactly. But like a lesser actress, or like someone who maybe
she's
it would have been like, that third one. Yeah. So I think casting was beautifully done for this.
One thing I want to mention before we close that I thought the movie might do, and ended up not doing.
Oh.
It starts out with a flashback of young Catherine being a smarty pants, and she's looking at a stained glass window or something and looking at all the different triangles and shapes and polygons and stuff that she sees in there, and it's visualized by the shapes kind of lifting out of the tableau of the stained glass window to show you what the hell she's looking at. I'm like, oh no, are they going to do the thing where she stares at a chalkboard and they dramatize her seeing numbers differently and they'll all be animated and dance? I'm like, that's so pat. Don't do that. They don't do that.
I was expecting it too. They don't.
They don't do that. It's the only instance of it in the movie, and I think the only reason they do it is because they were afraid, like, you know, she's like polyhedron,
rhombus,
isosceles triangle, rhombus, and if they didn't do that, you wouldn't know which shape she was talking about.
I agree with everything you just said. I think no, please go.
I think this movie does, with one exception, a really nice job of dramatizing these are smart people saying and doing smart things without dumbing it down so that the audience can understand it. They do really smart things, like when Octavia Spencer goes into the room with the gigantic IBM computers, and she sees a lead from an oscilloscope hooked up onto one of the side panels. She looks at it and she goes, "No, that's in the wrong place." That's all that needs to be done. You don't need to know what they're doing, what they're looking at, what that thing is. She's like, "Oh shit, that's wrong." Perfect. Lots of stuff like that throughout the movie that I think is great. The only one that didn't work for me is where Jim Parsons sits down and explains to a room full of mathematicians and space science people. It's like, okay, here's how an orbit works. You see, there's the Earth, and it falls around the Earth. I'm like, oh my God, these people know this. He's talking to them like his child brought him to school for Parents Come to School Day, and my dad works at NASA, and he's explaining orbital mechanics to kindergartners. I was like, this information, how orbits work, really is not, we don't really need to, even if an audience member didn't understand this very basic form of orbital mechanics, I don't feel that knowledge was really necessary to enjoy or understand the climax of the movie. John Glenn is on fire. Fire bad.
Fire
That's
bad.
all you need.
John Glenn, hot. I don't know who that actor is, but I mean, I know his name is Glenn. And you knew his last name.
Glenn Powell.
It is, indeed. He's in Maverick. Yep.
I'm not sure if I would have pulled his name out of a hat if I had not watched the movie last night and watched the credits roll by.
No, I wouldn't.
Like Jim Parsons, I recognize, but I don't know if I'd have pulled his name out of a hat if I hadn't just seen the credits last night. So
I know it's stupid to say, and I don't know why I have to say it. I love Jim Parsons outside of Big Bang. It makes me so happy because he's a Broadway actor
I hope
too.
So, and because I hate Big Bang Theory.
Sure.
With a passion that burns hotter than the fire of 1,000 suns. That show sucks.
And that's really hot, dude.
Yeah.
That's like, burning up John Glenn. But that scene, I do agree in that it is the one time that they kind of pander to the audience to be like, okay, something really big is happening, and this is why. This is because it is true, because telling people, oh, the math hasn't been written yet, most people don't know any of the math that you guys are doing in anyways. Like, I looked at that board and all I could see was like, I was like, I wish I could look at that and understand it. I covet the ability to go, move that there. Like, I wish I had that in me.
I don't know. Well, I recognize what it is. I mean, but I don't know.
Yes, it's math. I recognize this math.
Those are fractions. It's just numbers that adds up, but I don't know what it refers to. So, and I didn't try to work it out. I don't care.
But I do think that for lack of a better way of doing it, you had to kind of be like, all right, guys, this is why it's hard, maybe, or all this.
I
Because
wouldn't.
even her little asides, her like, so it's going from an isosceles or this orbit to a parabolic orbit, and then she's like, so even the slightest sneeze could set like her interjections.
That
It was
was the
very much
important bit, but like I don't like the scene. It's dumb. It's I would have been fine with it if the information presented was actually needed, but the only information was her aside about this is this is very precise, and I don't think we needed that scene to communicate that. So, yeah.
But I do like at the very end when Kevin Costner's character tells John Glenn the coordinates, and he's like, she checked them. They're correct. She even got out to a couple more decimal places.
Got a couple extra digits over the
and
IBM
and he was like,
there.
I'll take all that I can. And I'm just like, yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
Maybe an urban legend. I'm not sure how true this is, but I hear tell that the word bug, when referring to a defect in programming code, comes from an actual physical bug getting stuck in a computer where they were using punch cards. So it was like a moth or something that got stuck and fried in the damn thing, and that's why it didn't work. They pulled out all the punch cards. There's a dead moth in there, and so I don't know how true that is, but I hope it's true. Well, poor moth, but that's pretty funny if that is actually the origin of the word bug in that context.
I hope. I'm going to spread it around like it is true. I mean, I don't know who I'm going to tell. My children, they're impressionable.
They believe anything I say.
See, and I know we're going to wrap up and I will say this, but I think that's a very, when you were talking about the punch cards, I do also just, one of the things I really love about the movie is how truly enterprising the ladies are. Like they are,
they see the writing on the wall and they're like, yes, we better teach ourselves programming. We need
to, they truly, like Dorothy Vaughan, she goes, gets that book, and then she's like, all right, ladies, if we want a job, we're going to have to learn all this stuff. And it's just like, it's great. It's I
genuinely, especially Octavia Spencer's delivery, but she steals the book from the library, and the kids are like, mommy, you stole a book. And she says, no, I did not. I pay taxes. Taxes pay for the library. You cannot steal what you already paid for.
I loved it. I'm like, love you.
I'm like, yeah, I'm with Dorothy on this one.
Yep. I will concur. So
if they hadn't been bigots, I would have just borrowed it and brought it back in 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah. Right. There you go.
Yeah.
But no.
You're just hurting yourself. Not as much as you're hurting me and everyone else, but you're still hurting yourself.
I just wanted to call in John Wick on that woman. He can kill people with books, miss. I've seen him do it. I have seen him do it.
I still need to see part 4.
Ooh, yeah, you do.
Surprising. I had a surprisingly good series, consistently good series, the John Wick movies. I saw the first one on a lark. I'm like, it's an action movie. I'm sure it's fine. I watched it. It's actually really good. And I'm like, they probably petered out for the sequel. Oh, it's actually really good. Oh, all right. Third one, okay. It's really good. Okay, cool.
So, and the concierge, though, he passed recently. You knew that, right? Yeah. I forget his name. I know it once you say it.
Lance Reddick.
Yes. I'm like, I'll know it once you say it. But yeah, what a striking presence that man has on screen. So good. So good. But yeah.
I was actually really interested in seeing that Continental spinoff, and until Mel Gibson shows up, I'm like, oh, come on. Why?
Wait, what? This is news to me.
Yeah, they made a spin-off television show from there's 2 of them. One's the Continental. It's what's the main guy who runs the Continental? What's his name?
Ian McShane?
Ian McShane's character. So 30 years ago, it follows Ian McShane his early days at the Continental. That's the premise of the show.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching the trailer, I'm like, oh man, this show looks cool. And then Mel Gibson shows up. I'm like, probably not now. I just don't, screw that guy. I just don't want to watch anymore.
Yeah, no.
But there's another spinoff based on Angelica Houston's
Oh,
ballerina
the
stuff.
ballerina, yeah.
So that hasn't got a trailer. So
Okay.
um,
I will have to look. I haven't even seen the one about the Continental. I'll have to just watch the trailer just to know that it's out there and then feel that same moment when I see Mel Gibson and go, ugh, you
yeah.
anti-Semite.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Aw. I love disappointment. Sign me up for that.
Yeah, yeah. Bring me down from that high. Crashing it. That's where we want. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
Outro.
I'm so ready.
Oh wait,
So
not outro. You got to mandate a movie.
I am. I'm gonna
There
mandate
we
it. And
go. Okay.
I'm gonna mandate it hard, and you're gonna watch it and you're gonna like it. No, I don't know. I've never seen it, but I would like to see it. And it's called Judas and the Black Messiah, about the Black Panther Party that was infiltrated by who? What was the dude's name? I don't remember the guy, but that FBI dude who infiltrated the Black Panther Party.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
That is what it is called.
Okay.
Yep. And it is on Max
All right.
at this time that we are saying it. Sorry, guys. Check the description below for where it is playing. Sorry. Anyways,
Oh,
yes.
this is a recent film. How the hell did I miss it? It's got Lakeith Stanfield in it, and Daniel Kaluuya, and Jesse Plemons. How did I not? Why did no one tell me of this movie? How did this
Jesse
escape
Plemons is married to Kirsten Dunst, so there's a connection.
Oh, is he? Huh,
okay, well, maybe they're not married yet. They could just be
Dominique Thorne, Martin Sheen.
So yeah,
There's a name I'm not going to even attempt to. Yeah, I'll attempt it. Ikechukwu Ufomadu.
Oh, where
Wow,
is that
there's
one?
a
Hold
name.
on, I want to see
He's way down the cast list. But yeah, all right.
Oh,
cool.
Yep.
I mean, wow, that's
Yep.
imagine.
I just call him Ike.
Imagine filling that name in on the Scantron when we were kids, filling in the little bubbles for that one.
Dude, I don't even remember that, but yep. I mean, I that was a memory that you just brought back.
Yep. Now our names are pretty short. Mine's 6 letters and 5 letters, but
mine's 7 5. So it's not.
I had a friend in high school named Caroline Goralchek.
Oh, that's right, Goralchek.
And her name is a lot longer than it sounds. It's surprisingly long. You're like, Carolyn Goralchik. Okay, Carolyn Gore Alchzik. Jesus. Her name was actually longer than was like 2 or 3 characters longer than the Scantron hilarious. Sheets. So she couldn't bubble in her entire name because it was too long.
When I was doing opera in Sarasota, one of the girls that I worked with, her last name was Zakshevsky. Ready for it again? I'm going to say it one more time. Zakshevsky. Yes, there was an R in it. And an EW. There was an REW in a row. Zakshevsky.
But not where you think.
But not where you think.
Bring Madison back, God damn it! She's the best part of the
Y and 2 N's, but not where you think. Oh my god, I ship them so hard. They need to bring that back.
Just have a Wong and Madison buddy comedy of them, tripping through the different realms.
They need to be the next MS3TK team. I just want to watch them watch stuff.
Just watch them watch movies. There you go. Talk about mixed drinks and things.
That's what you need. That's what you need. There it is. That's the new thing. I'm on it. I'll watch it. I love them.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, today's episode may have come to an end, but Black History Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. If you'd like to watch it too, it's apparently on Max, but that might change by the time we air this, so check the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. If you enjoy the show, want to help us reach a wider audience, engage! Like, comment, listen, rate, review, all that kind of stuff. Thank you much. And with that, I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
And ready for this? I'm Kelly, and you can follow my brand new Instagram, Pimento Livia. Because Olivia, my cat, has a little pimento right here, so her name is Pimento Livia on Instagram. And she's so cute.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I'm on Facebook, I technically have an Instagram. I should probably activate it. So you're going to put cat pictures on it, aren't you?
Oh yes. Oh,
no, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to activate it.
She's so much more interesting than anything I would have to say.
Yeah.
So let's be real. And if you want to know who I am at my soul belongs to my cat. So follow Pimento Livia. Only 1-0.
Yeah. Of course, by the time we air this episode, Twitter may be, pay to use.
Well, shoot, it's not even Twitter anymore. It's X.
Yeah, screw that shit. If it ever goes behind a paywall, I'm not using it. You can find me on Threads, probably.
There you go.
Unless that changes. So I think that one's andrew.eisen.1 because that's what I could get out of Facebook. Apparently, there's another.
Which I think is funny. If you're a 1, doesn't that mean you're the first?
I don't know. Apparently, Andrew Eisen was taken. So. Whatever. Anyway, hey, did you enjoy this episode of Movie Mandates?
Yes.
I did. So hope you did too. All right, we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.